What is up, everybody? Happy Friday. Getting toward the end of August here now. Your favorite day of the week, our favorite day of the week. Why? Not because it's the end of the work week. No, because you get to come watch us again. And hey, we got the Brian and Amy special back again this week. Excited about that. And a lot to be excited about with Charlotte this week, right? It's transfer week. So a lot of news coming up on that. Charlotte has won. I have to do two hands now. 6 games in a row. 6 in a row. So we'll kind of jump right into that. Obviously, the 6th win in a row came against RSL this past Saturday. Another 1-0, 2 in a row of those 1-0 score lines. Some people think that's boring. No, that is not boring at all. That is character building soccer right there. So again, 6 straight victories, longest in club history, longest active streak in the MLS right now as well. These boys are just on fire. Little quick recap of the game. It didn't start out great for Charlotte. To be fair to Salt Lake, they came out, I thought, really direct and moving the ball quickly forward. They had a couple of chances early. Zaha darn near got a red card in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, it was very soon. We were all kind of holding our breath. Luckily, just a yellow. He was able to stay on. But like I said, it started out not great for Charlotte, but they were able to just kind of withstand the pressure, and then they really grew into the game, right? I wouldn't say dominated the game in any sort of way, but at the same time, they felt like they were in control, right? They got that goal toward the end of the first half, about 37th, 38th minute. Brilliant goal, by the way. I mean, it was a set piece, Westy to Toke again. Who else? I mean, Toke has been just a revelation since he came into the starting lineup, right? Beautiful ball by him. Cool little screenshot of him about, it seemed like 6 to 8 inches above everybody else getting that header. He just wanted it more. And then, from there, it was just about the defensive shape, keeping it together. Shout out Abada, though, right? Yeah. I mean, he came into the game late. Obviously, he's been much maligned on this show through, Charlotte Twitterverse, right? He's kind of been, I don't want to call the odd man out, but a little bit has been. He came in and really changed the game, or at least, kind of set the tone to end it. Had a pass to Zaha at the end that should have been a goal, right? It was not a great miss by Zaha. Maybe a little bit more to comment on that here in a second, but ended 1-0, right? Want to get that insurance goal moving forward. I mean, we were all kind of just sitting on our knuckles, not after the goal celebration like I do, but just on our knuckles, like hoping to get another goal, because 1-0's always dicey. But as Dean Smith said in the presser afterward, I love a 1-0 score line, right? It does show character. It shows that you stood in there the whole game and just, withstood, didn't ever break. And again, it's 3 more points to Charlotte. So great game, great month and a half of football from this team. What do we think about it?
I agree. It was a great game. I was a little surprised. I don't know, I guess we did kind of dominate, even though possession was pretty similar. And I think the reason why it seemed like we dominated is the scoreline definitely could have been 3-4, maybe 5-0.
Yes.
I think our defensive shape was a lot better, and I thought it was interesting when we listened to the Kalina's press conference. He was making great saves, but his perspective was when your defense is in the right position and they take away those shooting lanes, it makes his job easier. So I think when we were giving him a hard time, like, why isn't he making that save? He didn't have the players that were taking off those angles and stuff. And so Absolutely. Now we're like, he's back to what he was. I think Kivalina always was what he was.
Yeah.
He's a great keeper. So I'm really excited. I hope that he just continues with some of the things that we'll probably get into later with our goalkeeper. I thought Kalina was outstanding. And
Absolutely.
I think that's because of the defense. Tim Ream, I think he's really settled in. He needs to be in the center. He's just that calming presence that we need back there. And I thought Abada game changer. I mean, I think it should have been more than 1-0, but I think he got the ball and we knew, okay, this has a chance to get us that other goal.
Yeah, he was, just a menace out there. He really was. And a really good point there on the defensive shape, kind of helping Kalina, right? I mean, because, if you don't know which way the ball's coming because they're so close to the goal, right, that's going to be a much more difficult task. He can kind of understand where the ball's coming from based on that defensive shape, and I think that absolutely does help him. And, back-to-back clean sheets now. Looking a lot more like last year's team. You're right. 3 straight clean. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is correct. So that's looking a lot more like last year's defense that we came to love. So, Brian, anything?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. The other thing I wanted to point out is we've now gotten 19 points in the last 7 games.
Wow.
So we're cooking.
Yes.
And perspective on that is prior to this stretch, we only had 25 on the season. So we've gained a lot of points in the past 7 games, and if our defense continues to be stingy and keep clean sheets, then we have enough firepower to keep it rolling.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, probably worth mentioning, this is all without BL, right? I mean, our best player, our best offensive creator on the field, they really haven't missed a beat. I mean, you can tell, don't get me wrong, like it is a little bit more of a defensive, pragmatic game, I would say, than if he were probably on the field. But if anything, it kind of got back to that defensive shape and structure, and obviously Byrne coming back in. I think I saw a stat. I wish I'd have wrote it down. I forgot to, but our record with him versus without is stark. And the defense, it's all because of that defensive side of the ball, right? So yeah, great game overall. 6 straight victories, right? 7 unbeaten in a row. Not much more to add to that. It's great.
I think the other cool thing is a lot of the players, they got asked, hey, do you think is this Charlotte peaking or whatever? And none of the players said, no, this is not us at the peak. So I think the fact that we're seeing this happen and the players know there's more out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's super exciting for Charlotte. And I thought 4th place was maybe out of the question, but I think with how they're playing now, and I think getting a home playoff game is possibly in the cards for us.
I really do. I mean, well, obviously we'll touch a little bit more on that in the standings, but yeah, we have definitely closed the gap. I mean, it seemed like a pipe dream, just a month and a half ago, probably even just a month ago, right? But it is really attainable at this point. And I think they are right. There is more out there. I mean, we've seen the very good side of the defense. We've seen the very bad side of the defense, and that coincided with when the offense started to pick up. The offense may have dropped a little without Pep BL being on the field. So once, obviously, he's able to come back, and we are at full force with this defense playing the way they are, transitioning to the offense. It's in a very exciting time to be a Charlotte fan. It's always exciting to be a Charlotte fan, but specifically right now, this feels like we got a real good shot.
Yeah, I would also add that we're integrating some new pieces. And, we haven't even started there. So, to think about us building this momentum towards the playoff, and we're going to integrate some new pieces, then it's exciting.
Absolutely, and that was Brian being a professional right there to go ahead and transition us right into our next section, which is the news of the week. And there's a lot of it this week, guys. So I guess we'll go ahead and pass it off to Amy. What do you have for us to start?
So this week we had 2 players, Tim Ream and Kalina, of course, make the team of the week. So shout out to, or team of the match day.
Yeah, same thing.
Team of the week. So shout out to them. Again, it just speaks of our defense really coming into its own. And I think Byrne, he might be a solid part of that. So some sad news, but has a little bit of sunshine attached, I guess, as we knew Melanda. He probably wasn't going to be here forever. Well, It's official. After the end of the season, Melanda's going to Middlesbrough for $8 million. It's championship, not Premier League, but some good things are he is going to be with the club until the end of the season, so that's good. The team he's going to, Middlesbrough, even though Championship League just kicked off their season, they are currently in 2nd place and they're undefeated through the 2 games they've played. So he's at least going to a good club in Championship. And most importantly, Charlotte retains the sell-on clause. So
because he's going to the Premier League,
probably end up in the EPL. So that's awesome that we get that. And then, unfortunately, we waived Mark. So shout out to George Marks and what he has done for Charlotte, and of course Suleiman Doumbia. We waived him on this week, but that's because there's some other exciting things happening.
Yeah, so I did want to comment on Melanda. I have felt a certain kind of way seeing him in his new kit.
Yeah, seeing him in the red was a little bit.
But I'm happy for him.
Absolutely. Happy for him, happy for the team. I mean, it's like we said in our group chat. I mean, obviously that is it's what's needed in this, in the environment, the way the roster construct, when you can make $8 million. That was a record signing, by the way, of a center back from the MLS. I mean, so $8 million to him. Obviously, we had $8 million from Patrick Ajamong as well. I mean, that's a load of money that we were able to make, and really you can invest that right back into the club. So it sucks to lose your best players, no doubt about it. But
Middlesbrough's second in the table too for the championship.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't that be cool if they got promoted this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go straight into the EPL. That didn't necessarily crossed my mind, but yeah, absolutely.
Still early
And
in the season.
Yeah,
and,
only two
and
games
need
in.
to mark the calendar for whenever Darby plays Middlesbrough, I
Right,
guess,
for sure.
this coming season as well. So, Brian, what else?
Yeah, so not a big shock about Malanda. I think we all felt like he was going to leave, but what was a shock for me this week was that we signed Drake Callender from Inter Miami.
Huge.
I think I was shocked. I think the team was shocked. It sounded like he was pretty shocked too.
Yeah. Bad job by Miami on that. That's nothing to do with us. But.
Yeah, so it'll be curious to see what happens with Kalina. This feels like competition, but also Kalina's, I think, 33. Drake Callender's a little bit younger than that.
27, I think, is what I saw.
But at the end of the day, I don't. I think if Kalina went down, I wouldn't have felt great about Bingham for the rest of the year. But this gives us two starting goalkeepers that, I think we're set there in that position.
Absolutely, same, right? I mean, obviously, it is wild that we pull in Callender. I mean, it seemed like out of the blue, but you kind of look at the roster construct and moving into next year. I think it's more prevalent for next year than this. I think Kalina. I mean, he's obviously coming off back-to-back team of the match days, right? So he's kind of on his stride right now. I don't necessarily see Callender coming in and necessarily challenging him this year for the starter role, but who's to say he won't? But at the same time, this does kind of help us solidify that position for next year and hopefully years to come. So, yeah.
There's also been some rumors about Charlotte FC showing some interest in Gabriel Paulista, a 34-year-old center back, Brazilian center back, maybe a Malanda replacement. It seems like this one's not quite imminent, but he comes from a great pedigree. Won a couple of FA Cups, Spanish Cup, and has just been a very experienced at a high level player.
Class.
And this would be a great kind of, and also kind of, it kind of fits what we're seeing a little bit, that we like these experienced older guys that have played at a high level.
Yeah.
So this seems like a fit for Charlotte FC. We'll see if it gets over the line.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, we think it may. I mean, anytime it's posted by Tom Bogert, right? I mean, it seems like that's something that you can somewhat take to the bank. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? But when he posts it like that, usually that's somebody I'll listen to and kind of take credibility from. And yeah, obviously he's class at the end of the day. He's an older player, right? 34. You kind of worry about a 37-year-old Ream and a 34-year-old Paulista next to each other, but the passing that those two could do between each other is So and like you said, it's really kind of a, hey, we lose Malanda, but we get somebody with that kind of pedigree class. Maybe not the athleticism that Malanda would have at this point in his career, but still somebody that we know we can trust back there.
It seems like we're either going to sign a 30-plus-year-old player or an 18-year-old player.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, we don't have any of those.
20 or in the 20s. We're not.
Yeah, 26-year-old, get the hell out of here. Exactly. And then, I'll kind of, add on to that. So some more news, big news. And this came out today, by the way. We're filming on Wednesday, so you'll see it on Friday. But signing, and I do apologize in advance if I get your name wrong, but Rodolfo Aloco or Aloco, we don't really know yet. We're going Aloco for right now. It sounds good. Hopefully he's not crazy. But in any case, this kid, 18 years old, we signed him for $6 million. So, trust me, guys, I did the research, or at least tried to. There's not a lot of information on this kid. He's 18 years old, right? So there's not a lot to base it on. But what I can tell you is he had looks from Lyon. He had looks from Brighton, which if you've ever kind of studied Brighton, I mean, they've got some of the biggest and brightest stars that have come through that program and gone up. So if they're looking for a player like this, obviously that means something, right? And I don't think, obviously I think he'll probably be on Crown Legacy at least through the end of this year, but I don't think you pay $6 million for a player to, just kind of ride up, through the, Crown Legacy for the next 2 years. I think this is a signing that could make dividends as early as next year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, this seems like a little bit of the template of what we do with these really young players. It's the sign and stash to Crown Legacy, let them get integrated into U.S. culture, maybe get, kind of through the city a little bit.
Yep.
We did that with Toklamati. We did it with Pekovic. We're doing it with
the new Ajaman.
Koulibaly.
Koulibaly. Yeah, there
so,
you go.
This seems like a strategy, and so far I think it's a really good strategy in a way to maybe skirt the MLS rules a little bit.
Yeah.
But, if you can use the loophole, let's do it.
Yeah, we know what Miami does. So this is, it seems pretty good. And I mean, that roster is going to be stacked. I love to watch them play some of those second division teams right now with this roster. So yeah, very excited. He looked 30, by the way, though. Did you guys see a picture? Like I was like, this kid ain't 18, but I need to see a birth certificate to confirm he's 18. But yeah, he really excited about that signing. I mean, $6 million. I think Zoran, he doesn't make mistakes. Well, not that he doesn't make mistakes, but I don't think he would have put that kind of investment into it unless he felt really sure about something. So
I mean, $6 million is a little much for a Crown Legacy guy. So
right.
Hopefully he'll be kind of one of those flex first team guys that like sees some time on Crown Legacy, but is also there with the first team for some of the games. And maybe we'll get to see him a little bit at some point this season, even if it's just a couple of minutes at the end of a match.
Perhaps.
So I did read that much like Malanda, that we've signed him, but he's being loaned back to his club, so we probably wouldn't see him until January.
Okay, and I figured I wasn't sure about that detail necessarily, but I figured worst or best case rather, he wasn't. I don't think he would see the field this year. Maybe, like I said, comes in for scrap time late, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a sign and stash to Crown Legacy. Let him get implemented, whatever the word is. There you go. She's the teacher, not me. And so, but then, like I said, I really do believe coming into next year, he better have at least a legitimate shot, right? I mean, again, I don't think you can invest that type of money and just have him sit in Crown Legacy for 2 or 3 years, right? I don't think that really jives. So we will see. And maybe that had something to do with the conversation Zoran had with Abada at the end of the game, right? I'm not saying it did or didn't, but I know this guy, they kind of listed him as an attacking midfielder / right winger. Obviously, same position as Abada. So who knows if that was part of that conversation? I don't think we will ever really know, but food for thought, right? So kind of where it's at. Okay, and yeah, all that news. Again, we're 24 hours away from the transfer window. Again, it's on Thursday. You guys will be watching this Friday, so by the time this actually airs, it will be closed. A lot of moves that have just happened. What are your overall thoughts? Like, what is this telling you about Charlotte, kind of moving forward?
I like overall what we've done in the transfer window. Obviously, we've lost a few players and eventually Malanda and we lost Pat. But we're going to be able to reinvest all that money into making our team stronger. I also felt like it wasn't really an all-in kind of move to go for the cup this year, but it definitely makes our team stronger, and it definitely I think makes our depth better.
Yeah.
So I think we are still on the outside looking in at those elite MLS teams, but we're getting closer and closer.
I like that.
I think the transfer window has showed me, like we said, we love the young guys to develop them. Mm-hmm. We like the vets. The only thing that makes me a little sad as a fan is you get attached to these young guys. We develop them, and then you just have to kind of have your heart broken. Yes. So, I would kind of like there to be somebody that comes to Charlotte that's like, okay, I can stay here and be here for a while. But I think if they become a decent caliber player, it's probably going to go on. But that's good because then we get some money and we have money. As long as the club went out, this was the first year that I actually felt like the club was doing some things and putting some money behind some players to really make some moves. So I feel good about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, no one likes to see players like Malanda, like Patrick Ajamong leave, right? I mean, you do grow attached to these players. We watch them week in and week out and see them kind of grow and mature. And then to just see them, shipped off when you feel like there was that potential. Yeah, that's sad. But yes, I mean, when soccer is like that, right? I mean, it is a not for long type sport, right? You really, I mean, at any level, right? Even going up to the Premier League, right? I mean, you'll see players leaving after 1, 2, 3 years and going on to the next thing, right? It's just, it's the way that business works, this business works. And so, I mean, I love the transfer window. Obviously, I would have loved, or not that it's over yet, but if we could get one more midfielder, that can impact the season this year. I think that would be a home run, but who knows whether that happens. But again, for the longevity of the club, when you get $16 million from 2 players, I mean, a salary cap for the MLS is at 6, not including DPs, So, I mean, we're talking like this is going to fund our team for the next 2, 3, 4 years. And again, if we're, being able to do that and invest the funds back in the right players, you're going to see and fall in love with these next group of players. And they should be bigger and badder because we have bigger and badder resources to go get them, right?
And have we filled all our DP spots at this point? We
absolutely
still have one
not.
left, right?
Yeah, so I assume obviously, I assume Rodolfo doesn't count as that because he's going to be right and on the Crown Legacy. Again, the rules don't make sense to me, so I'm just a novice trying to tell you guys. But I obviously the rule there with the DP is over, I think 1.5 million spent, which went way over for this guy. But I think because again putting him in the crown, that doesn't count. So I think we still have one of those spots open. Again, if we can go get an impact midfielder, I think it's a home run. But if nothing else, this does solidify Charlotte moving forward. We have more money in the bank. We have players signed for 3 years now, right? I mean, we were kind of known jokingly as loan FC there for a bit, and because of a lot of our players, the better ones are loaned. But now we're getting players signing for 3 years, right? Talk about Tofolo, talk about Archie Goodwin, exactly right. I mean, these are players that are now going to be here for the next hopefully 3-4 years, right, and kind of grow up with us. And like I said, we still have money to go spend elsewhere if and when we need to. So all around, great transfer window. One more signing would be great, but if not, I think we're all still pretty happy. Yep. So Miami 3, LA Galaxy 1. Messi did come back. He's been hurt for a bit. Had a goal, had a beautiful assist. Don't know if you saw that one or not. It was nasty. Back heel, just disgusting. But 3-1. No surprise there. Also, Red Bull New York did get the victory. That's who we will be playing this week, so a little tease there. They beat Philadelphia, who was top of the table when they played. Got a nice, tidy 1-0 victory there, so we shared the 1-0 victories there. Amy?
Toronto got the win over Columbus 1-0, and I think Columbus is up there too now at the top of the table. So that's good for us that Toronto was able to beat Columbus.
Yep.
And then Orlando Sporting KC. I thought there for a while that Sporting KC might be able to beat our little friends to the south, but Orlando ended up putting some in the back of the net and ended up with the 3-1 victory.
Yeah, they might be the second hottest team in the league behind Charlotte, honestly, right now.
That's where they need to remain behind Charlotte.
Well, yes, absolutely.
And everything.
Yes.
NYCFC got the 2-1 victory over Nashville SC. NYCFC just kind of sticks around. They're just hanging around.
I keep looking at them behind us and will you just go away?
Right.
They're not.
I think they have a game in hand or something.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
2, I think.
Yeah.
Nashville's one of the top 3 teams in the East, I think. So that's a good victory for them. The other result was Cincinnati 3 over Portland 2. And once again, Evander had a banger of a goal.
Yeah, against his former team.
To his own old team. So, we watched a bit of that game. That was an exciting one to watch, even though it was late night.
That was a later one, but I watched a good amount of that one as well. And so, good games. And obviously, a lot of those results do favor or help Charlotte, right? Obviously, Philadelphia losing, Columbus losing. Columbus has been on a bit of a slide here recently. They're coming back to us. And then, again, Orlando continues to win, but then Nashville losing, right? That's huge for us. So we did gain some ground on some teams, not all of them. Speaking of gaining ground, what about the standings? Do the Western, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So San Diego FC still sits at the top of the table, 5-point lead over everybody else.
Yeah.
And then there's just a 3-point separation from 9th to 12th between San Jose, RSL, Dallas, and Houston. Again, the West is seemingly the weaker conference.
For sure.
We would be much higher in the table if we were playing in the West. But, you never know when you roll the ball out there on the pitch.
That's right. No, that's very close.
Was good to see Thomas Mueller, though, playing over there in the West with
had a goal. It was disallowed, unfortunately, but
it was
had a goal.
Kind of exciting to see him.
Yeah,
and then bringing it over to the conference that we're most interested in, the Eastern. Charlotte, we seem to be stuck in 7th. However, 7th isn't where we want to be, but we're closing that gap. We are on that streak. And really, even though we're in 7th, we're only 3 points out of 3rd. So there's...
It's one game.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
That's crazy.
Cincinnati goes to the top of the table to get over top of the Union, of course. So Cincinnati's in first. NYCFC sticking close with us. They have 2 games in hand, but we want to just keep on making sure that they stay behind. And
keep winning games.
Yep, we'll just keep on winning. And then Chicago and the Red Bulls, who we play this weekend, are in a tight race for the final playoff spot. That would put them in 8th and 9th for that play-in game. So I'm not sure who we would want to win between the 2 of them. I mean, of course, we want to be
not going
to
concern us anyway. We're going to be maybe it would
the Red Bulls, but
yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, and then that kind of puts a bow on around the league. So into everybody's favorite segment, the one that kind of started it all. It's the match day preview. And as Amy just mentioned, it is against Red Bull this week. So Charlotte FC, 7th place with 44 points, squaring off against Red Bull New York, 10th place, 39 points. If you guys remember in that not so great May that we had, that's when we played Red Bull. They beat us 4-2. I did go back and watch that game. Well, I didn't watch everything in that game, but I, kind of watched a good, portion of it, and it was about to make my eyes bleed, to be honest. It was, if you guys remember, driving kind of rainstorm throughout that game, as all of our games were earlier in the season. You go look at the stats. Charlotte won possession. Charlotte won shots. They had the better passing stats. They conceded awful goals in this one. This was one of those that you had mentioned earlier with Kalina. He had a real bad near post goal in this one that was given up. Horrendous play. But I mean, Abada became a helicopter in the box and just let the ball hit him in the arm for a PK. It was just a very, it was a game that seemed Charlotte could have and should have won had they just not given up those silly goals. And so I think we're over that at this point, right? And I think obviously coming back home, we can kind of fix that. Red Bull New York, always a very aggressive game when it comes to Charlotte. I don't know if it's just us or if that's how they always play. I'm not, I don't watch every week of Red Bull New York. But it seems like when we play them, it's always pretty aggressive, I guess would be the word, right? Tense. They're fourth right now, actually, in the entire league in yellow cards. By the way, Red Bull is second in red cards. So what that tells me, we gotta keep on our heads, right? We let them lose their heads, let them lose a player. I'm really speaking to you, Zaha. Don't lose your head in this game. This seems like one that you might get a little bit riled up in. Just kind of channel that inner whatever this is, whatever that type of thing, and just go play ball, right? We can't let that outside distraction really get to us. I think is the key, is what I'm getting at there. You go look at the stats; they're very similar to us and them, right? I mean, we're all there was only about 2 or 3 spots separating us from any stat, but the main thing that I took away from looking at the stats, the one where we did have a pretty big discrepancy, was in just the passing, right? The long ball accuracy, the overall passing accuracy. Pretty much every passing stat kind of favored Charlotte fairly heavily, right? Aerial duels as well. I think I wrote that one down. So to me, that screams patience on the ball, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, kill them with the passes. Those set pieces, when we can get people in the box, right, and win those headers, they were, I think, either dead last or second to last in aerial duels one, right? So just be patient on the ball, let them foul you. That's going to happen based on the aggressive nature of them, and then get those set pieces to go. I do think it's going to be tight, right? I mean, Red Bull New York is not a pushover. They are a good team. And again, they're sitting in 10th, but I think that's a little deceiving. I think, to your point, if they were in the West, I think they'd be up closer to 5th, 6th, somewhere around there, right? I'm going tight, 2-1 victory. I hope it's 2-0. I want another clean sheet, but just, we'll go 2-1 this week. I'm going Abada, right, for myself. He showed me enough last game. I think he'll get some more minutes in this game. Maybe he's hungry seeing the Rodolfo signing as well. And again, if he shows even 2/3 of what he showed in that game last week, I mean, I think he can be a menace out there. And you can't go against Toklamati right now. I mean, the guy is just on fire. If he doesn't score this week, he's going to score the next, right? And he did score last week. I get that, but he's just on such a roll. I can't go against him. Amy?
Well, I am going to go with my heart, and I'm just waiting for that breakout game where we just score more than 1 or 2 goals. I don't think it's going to be a lot more than that. I'm going to go 3-0 because I think we're like in a solid defensive stand. I think we'll see a lot more of Toffolo this weekend.
Yes.
And I think the possibility of the Toffolo-Zaha connection, I think that's going to be really exciting to see.
I mean, goosebumps just thinking about
as it continues to grow, and who knows what that becomes. Speaking of Toffolo, in my 3-0, I'm going to put him as a goal, one of our goals.
That would be so beautiful.
So I'm going to go with the Toffolo goal. I'm going to go with the Tote goal, of course, because of the aerial, us being pretty good in the aerial. And then I'm just going to say Westwood, he came back from that his yellow card accumulation suspension, and I think he looked really good last weekend. And so I think he's hungry for a goal. I think we expect him not to be a huge goal scorer, but to put in 2, 3, 4. So I'm going with the Ashley Banger for 3-0.
Oh, I love that. That bet would pay out a lot too. I might have to put a little on that. That sounds like a good one. Yeah.
So I agree. This is going to be a physical matchup. We always struggle with the high press of New York Red Bulls. They also have Emil Forsberg, who has 9 goals and 9 assists on the season, and this 6'3" striker from Cameroon named Choupo-Moting.
Yes.
And he's got 15 goals on the season.
Yeah,
but,
former EPL player.
Yeah. I think we keep the good vibes going. And I got us winning 2-0.
Okay.
We're going to keep another clean sheet. And I actually think that Dino is going to award Abada, and he's going to get the start this week. And in his start, he's going to get a goal. So I got an Abada goal. And then my second goal is going to be from Malanda off a corner.
Let's go.
And I think those Middlesbrough fans are going to salivate over their new player coming in.
That would be wonderful. That would be absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I like that. I like both of those. I like all three. I mean, yeah. Right. Can we actually trademark Kalina sheet from now on? I just thought of that just now. I don't know if that's already trademarked or not, but if it isn't, I'm going to go ahead and jump on that. Kalina sheet is what we're going to call them moving forward once we make it 4 in a row. Speaking of 4 in a row, it's always for the crown, right? I don't have anything else to add. Guys, anything else that we've missed or that you just wanted to throw in? You didn't want to make fun of me for flicking off your daughter?
What did he say?
Different story, different day. We can talk about that on a different way. But anyway, well, again, this week. Oh, by the way, game it's on Sunday this week. 7. Yeah, 7.
Sunday at 7.
Easy for me to say. Yeah, Sunday at 7 p.m. So it's not Saturday night. Kind of stinks, but whatever. We're under the lights. It's Sunday night. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna win.
Games make me nervous.
Our home games are coming to an end, man. I think we only have 4 left. So
sad. And I'm gonna miss one of them. Obviously, the Miami game of all the games, but it is what it is. Gotta go play some golf. Well, like I said, that wraps it up, guys. I appreciate everybody watching. If you hadn't already, go like and subscribe. It helps out tremendously, so I would appreciate it. Yeah, we look forward to another victory again. 6 in a row. We now have to do 2 hands. Let's go ahead and make it all of these hands, right? Let's make it, yeah, where I got to put my foot up on the screen next time. You got to see my bare feet because we have 11, right? Let's go for that. So that's it. As always, thanks for watching. It's always for the crown.